Monterey Jack had a bug companion?
It sure did. He was like a gnat, right?
Yeah, he's wearing like a red crop top t-shirt and he's got big old yellow eyes and he's a bug.
I'll look him up.
He's got big old yellow eyes.
Oh, I honestly can't believe how much I remember about this show.
It's amazing the things that stick with you, though. You know, like you're going about your life and then all of a sudden you remember a precise thing from a childhood cartoon.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's just in there. That's just in the old brain mates.
Yeah, you know, I haven't thought of Monterey Jack's bug for a while.
Formative sense memory.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and speaking of performative sense memory, I think we're live.
Hi. Hello, Internet. Welcome to the Knights of Prospect. Welcome to the Knights. I am hearing a little echo.
That was me.
Now I'm not. Oh, no worries. We're figuring out our tech wizardry. It happens. Happy Pride Month, y'all, from everyone here at Knights of Prospect. Whoop, whoop. And again, we're Knights of Prospect. We're an improvised role-playing adventure using the Powered by the Apocalypse system. Everyone on the screen here today is a comedic improviser out of Improv Boston in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Look us up. It's great. Take classes. Have fun. And we are so excited to play with you today. So in the chat, feel free to send us little messages, your LOLs, your gasps, your tears. We want to hear it all. Yes. Thank you, Kylie.
Befuddlement.
Already.
Burps and belches.
Belches, whatever floats your boat. Whatever happens, we want you to be your authentic self in the chat. So I'm Whitney Hawkins. I play Hazel Pippet. She is a mountain druid who is also a halfling, kind of new to the big city life, figuring herself out while she figures out what things like mirrors and magic are. Mirrors are weird.
What is mirrors? What is magic?
What is mirrors? Yeah, she shapeshifts and stuff a lot. It's a grand old time. Yeah, so that is Hazel's deal. How you doing, Kylie?
Oh, I'm doing. Yeah, so I am Kylie Rolensick, and I play Jelly, a mischievous 11-year-old human thief. And I sort of fled my childhood home, the warm bosom of my familial hearth, for a grand adventure where I sneak and slither below and above ground, dealing in thievery. I'm good with poisons and picking locks and setting traps and all of that good nonsense, you know. So yeah, I am part of this mighty crew, the Knights of Prospect. And I'm up to mischief.
I'm Ryan. I play Harry Shitbeard, also better known as Gregory Shitbeard.
Gregory Shitbeard, yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, and to the common tongue folk have a easier time saying it, but that way, dwarven legionary, real tough curmudgeon of a guy,
but lovable.
Pretty stoic, but yeah, I think deep down lovable, huggable. If you can get your arms around him, he won't let you though.
Oh, wonderful. And hey, I'm Sam Hoare. I play Chauncey. Oh, what a fun 10-ish-year-old Chauncey is. He, of course, wields the power of the mighty Angel of War, as we all know. Gets into all sorts of hijinks. Gosh, he just tries so hard, everybody. He tries so hard, and in the end, sometimes it doesn't even matter. So
oh my
that's
goodness.
me.
Nice.
And I forgot to mention, and I specifically wanted to say it this time around. We have been doing the show for a year.
Hold on, what?
It's episode 52. We've been doing this for 52 weeks. And specifically, every single one of those episodes has featured this guy right here. So for every week, he has been GMing this game. So really wanted to give a big shout out and intro to John Serpico.
Oh, thank you so much, Whitney. I'm John Serpico. I'm the game master. That means I have a few different jobs around here. It's my job to play all of the characters in the world that are not played by these 4 improvisers. It's also my job to occasionally ask the players to roll some dice. This is a role-playing game, meaning none of this is scripted, and sometimes the dice tell us what happens and or what does not happen. So every so often I'm going to ask them to roll, and they're going to roll 2 6-sided dice, most likely. And if they roll 2 6-sided dice and get a 10 or higher, that means that they get the thing that they want to get. The thing that they want to have happened has happened. On a 7 to 9, that's a partial success. That means they get a little bit of what they want, or they have to make a tough choice. And on a 6 or less, they do not get what they want. However, something interesting happens. No matter how the dice work themselves out, it never works out to, oh, you miss and nothing happens. Something always happens. So that's my job too. And the other job I have is to give a quick recap of where we are in the world. So where we are in the world. Now, by the way, I'm going to give a very quick synopsis. If you want to dive into at this point, probably about 70-ish hours of content, by all means, go to the Knights of Prospect podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, or onto our YouTube channel. We have all of our episodes there, either as a podcast or our YouTube channel. It's just a lovely, relaxing show, except when it's super dramatic and emotional, but it's mostly relaxing and fun and whimsical. So anyway, I'm going to give a quick synopsis of everything that happened in those first 51 episodes that you can find wherever you find your podcasts. These are 4 of the Knights of Prospect. There are several dozen Knights of Prospect, which is a group of benevolent knights that try to keep peace in the Riverland, mete out peace and justice, settle disputes, prevent giant cataclysmic things from happening. So that's their job. They've been doing it for centuries. This is the most recent class that had been admitted into the Knights of Prospect. The thing that is top of mind for the Knights now is they asked an ally of theirs to briefly see into the future, and that ally of theirs, whose name is Sister Ix, stared into the future and told the Knights of Prospect that 2 elite thieves were going to steal an artifact from them, an artifact called the Triune Glass. It's a 3-part artifact. The Knights have one of the parts, and apparently these 2 thieves, no matter what they do, will end up with it. So that is the thing that they must ponder right now, because these thieves are working for someone that has 2 out of the 3 pieces of this artifact. The Knights have the 3rd piece. If this other person, whose name is Othon, he lives up north, let's hope he doesn't get the 3rd piece, because if he does, could be some world-ending stuff. So that's the story. And with that, that's all you need to know to get started. So with that, let's get started.
Ooh.
Okay. Everything I said, dear adventurers, in the plot synopsis is really everything I need to say right now. So I'll give a little bit more color, which is this. Hours ago, the Knights of Prospect stopped Delphine and Corentin, 2 Catavian thieves, from breaking into Etama, your chapter house, and stealing your piece of the Triune Glass. You got them, you captured them, they tried a bunch of illusion magic, it didn't work, and you ended up calling in the constabulary from Tower Town. They arrested Delphine and Corentin and put them in a jail cell downtown. However, Sister Ix, your ally, showed you via scrying magic that apparently Delphine and Corentin are mere hours away from breaking back out of jail, finding a way into Etama, and stealing the darn artifact anyway. So you're all kind of gathered around. And in point of fact, you're around Sister Ix right now. She has she has her scrying kind of, it's like this big metal disc that she pours water on and like creates illusions and stuff. So you see kind of this freeze frame of Delphine and Corentin holding what looks to be the triune glass and opening a portal with some kind of wand. So no matter what you plan, they're somehow still going to end up with something that looks an awful lot like the triune glass. So Sister Ix kind of lays this out, not just to all of you, not just to Hazel, Chauncey, Gregory, and Jelly, but to Raz and Vil and Hobie and Ronaldo and Winnie and kind of all the knights that are there. This is kind of an all hands on deck sort of thing. So really, that's where we pick up. I leave it all to you. All of you are gathered around trying to figure it out. You have all of the resources of the Knights of Prospect at hand. What you don't know is when exactly the thieves are going to break out and try again. But it's up to you to figure out what to do about that. So take it away.
Ooh.
What care we for fate?
Oh, what?
What care we for fate? We have the power of the heavens on our side. Chauncey, can't you summon your god? Cancel fate.
I could kindly ask if the militant would kindly come down and kindly help. But I don't think he's necessarily in the business of canceling fate, Gregory. I don't know exactly what that term would mean here.
What good is a god for if it can cancel fate?
Well, I think of fate as things that will happen, and then Sister Ix looks in the water mirror and sees those things happening. So if fate could be canceled, I don't know if we would call it fate.
Because fate, it's not like a dinner party, right? You can't just cancel a dinner, fate the way you'd cancel a dinner party if you don't want to see those people who you'd previously invited to said dinner party.
Well, to be fair, I'm not asking a god to cancel a dinner party.
Well, I wanted to illustrate the fact that cancellation here, I don't know that it's as relevant of a notion, because perhaps instead of attempting to cancel fate, we could just schedule resilience, do you see?
Right, like instead of saying the dinner party is off, we're like, oh, the dinner party's on, but it might rain, so we're moving inside. So the dinner party still has to happen, but perhaps in a different way than we originally envisioned.
Right, you could prepare a game of Pictionary as a way to facilitate the sort of, the success of a dinner party that you previously were like, I have to cancel this. So it's about, how do we schedule resilience? How do we bake in some kind of, foolproof plot or scheme or strategy? Maybe it's about Strategio. That's also a game you could play at a dinner party.
I've lost the metaphor.
All right, well, maybe more. What?
Let's cancel that metaphor.
Cancel the metaphor? Or should we still use the metaphor, but in a different way? Does that help, Gregory, if I make a metaphor about the metaphor that you lost track of?
No.
Oh, good.
What's that portal?
Yeah, so you're kind of looking at this kind of it's almost like, to use a bit of an anachronism, kind of like a 3D picture or a sculpture, but it's in color and you can kind of move it. And yeah, the portal looks like well, actually, Hazel, why don't you go ahead and and give me 2d6 plus wisdom to discern realities.
6.
Okay, so here's what I'll do is you have the discern realities list of questions here.
I sure
And
do.
because you failed, you will still ask one, but it will be bad news.
Oh no.
Feel free to ask any of the whichever part of discern realities you think can sustain some bad news. By all means.
All right. So in this magic mirror that I don't understand, what here is useful?
So Delphine and Corentin are thieves.
Dolphin in quarantine.
Indeed. They're elite thieves. Jelly knows of them. They're from like a town a couple 100 miles away, but all the people that Jelly know say about them, oh yeah, they are very serious. Like they're very, very good. But the thing is, they're not they don't use magic. They're not wizards. They don't have any kind of magical discipline to them, which means they're incredibly well financed because they keep using magical stuff. So the fact of the matter is that wand they have is not theirs. They didn't make it. So that portal they've conjured, they didn't use their own magic for that. That wand made it. And so you kind of zoom in on the wand. And
In hand.
it comes from the Arcane College. Which means they
An
are either
Arcane
being...
College printed right there.
Yeah, right on the
Oh.
side. Which means that they are being helped by someone at the Arcane College. Or not only did they break out of jail, but they then broke into the Arcane College.
Oh snap.
Or rather, they will. Because this is slightly the future.
These two. It's almost like, that story about the Batman. He doesn't have any skills. He's just very wealthy and connected.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of the Batman.
Very connected.
Yeah, the Batman is a Vorish nobleman that, like, upon inheriting a family fortune, decided to wander into a cave and live amongst the bats and then emerge with their
Highly
secrets.
inappropriate relationship, from what I've heard too.
Yeah, the Batman is more of a cautionary tale in Vor than anything else.
Yeah. All right,
So-
Chauncey, you know
Oh.
the most about the Arcane College. What do you
Sure.
Don't
what do I-
yell at me.
Oh.
We're all on the same team.
I get excited. You said I know the most about the arcane knowledge, which is a wonderful compliment. What do I think about the deal with the wand, or just in general?
So a wand capable of creating a portal, it means it was made by someone very, very powerful at the Arcane College. Because, essentially you need to create a wand that has a powerful spell, you need someone that can cast the spell. And a spell with like a portal spell is incredibly powerful. And then you also need a really powerful enchanter to actually kind of take the magic and like bottle it. So this portal wand is very, very powerful, which means that a couple of powerful Arcane College folks made it. And they're probably, unless they gave it to Delphine and Quarantine, which would mean that you have powerful enemies, then it means that Delphine and Quarantine were powerful enough to break into one of the more secure parts of the college. Which actually, let me put it to you this way. Chauncey, roll 2d6. 2d6 plus intelligence.
7, 8.
there is literally one place where this wand could come from in the Arcane College. It's from the enchanting workshop on one of the high floors. That's the only place where this could come from. A spell that powerful in a wand that nicely made, which means that at some point they will have to go there.
Okay. So that wand? There's only one place where they just write Arcane College with that font until they produce a wand.
It's a weird font.
Yes. This comes from Wibibble Wabobble's office.
Who's that?
A grand crafter and enchanter who could make such a thing. I've spoken to them once or twice before. I think that they could maybe tell us a little bit more about the nature of this portal, so that we may move our dinner.
And play charades.
Exactly.
Sure.
Do neither of those things. We'll go see Wibibble Wabobble immediately.
So you all go to the Arcane College. Time is of the essence, and remarkably, well, I wouldn't say remarkably, because you all are here under the express business of the Knights of Prospect, and the Knights of Prospect are incredibly well respected and have literally saved Tower Town as recently as a few months ago. So Wibibble Wabobble has a teaching assistant take over class and meets you in the enchanting lab, or the enchanting workshop. Let's describe Wibibble Wabobble. What are they all about?
Oh, Wibibble Wabobble, all about the accessorizing.
Mm-hmm.
Baubles, drapes, shawls, muumuus, pendant necklaces, layers, many trappings, jingle jangle bells.
Yeah, they have super short hair that is bright pink.
No,
Oh, what was that?
no shoes.
Mm-hmm. Never any shoes, which is why every time they take a step, they have a little bit of a laugh, a little bit of a giggle. The floor tickles their feet a little bit.
She seems fun.
Yeah, Wibibble Wabobble's great. And so Wibibble Wabobble kind of squeaks their way into the enchanting lab. And to even access the lab, Wibibble Wabobble, kind of places a hand on this door. And you've all seen, this is the world, the Riverlands, the place where you live, full of sturdy doors. Yeah, like they're ancient dwarven doors that are made of, using metallurgy that doesn't even exist outside of the dwarven hegemony. And there are elven doors made of wood and all of these other like super interesting doors that have like spirits of protection in them. This door is the kind of door you would expect to protect an enchantment lab. The second Wibibble Wabobble puts their hand on the door, it creates this moving tableau, and it's a bunch of people, and every so often one like turns their head and listens, and Wibibble Wabobble has to like whisper a secret, and it's this whole multi-step process to open this door. And eventually it kind of slides and shimmers its way open. And you walk into a place where, Jelly, you want to steal literally everything in here. Anything in here that you take, literally anything, would give you something that you could use with your wealth and taste skill. Everything, literally everything, like potions and poultices and stacks of wands and all of those things. All kinds of crazy wild gems that you're pretty sure there's a couple of active soul gems in here, and all kinds of things. So Wibibble Wabobble kind of walks to the center of the room with a big flourish, turns around and says, "Okay, so This is the enchanting lab, and I have opened it because that is what I did. And now we are in it because you are the Knights of Prospect, and so I am allowing you. If it was anyone but you, I would reduce you to ashes. So now that we are here, what exactly are you looking for?
Oh gosh, Hazel, did you happen to sketch that wand?
Oh, I sure did. Yeah. Hello, I'm Hazel Pippet. And this is a sketch that I drew of a wand that is about to be apprehended by some thieves.
Oh, well.
It's a wanted sign.
Yeah,
Wanded.
Wanded.
Aha, yes.
Stop it.
All right, let me look. Hazel, you are an exceptional artist.
Thank you.
You really did.
Don't
You're
look
really
at the
good.
last 2 pages. That's
Oh.
private.
Of course.
Oh no, those
only-
ones are so good too. Those are really lovely portraits.
Did you look at my private portraits?
Well, I took a look-see around in your sketchbook.
The wand.
The wand.
That would be this one. They walk over to this big circular table, which, kind of resting at the cardinal points are, these kind of little pieces of black stone. And, there's some kind of weird mist and like a thin ribbon kind of wafting into the center of the table from each of these 4 onyxes. And in the middle of the table is kind of suspended about an inch and slowly rotating the wand. It says Arcane College on it. All the other wands are blanks. This one has been etched in such a way so that everyone knows what it is. And it's slowly rotating. Yes, that would be that. I could tell by the etching of the grain you did. Here it is.
All right, so this one's safe.
Well, as of right now, it is, yes.
But fate will have its way with it.
Fate. What is this wand destined to harm someone? That would be strange.
I get kind of my detective face on and I go, y'all know any thieves? You in cahoots with anyone?
Okay. Hazel, big important role.
Oh no.
This is why we should never talk to anyone.
A full success, 10 or higher, is Wabibble Wabobble is not in cahoots and is going to do everything they can to help you. On a 7 to 9, they are not in cahoots, but they've got a lot of other things going on here. On a 6 or less, they are in cahoots. So this is going to be, and whatever you roll is the absolute truth. So 2d6 plus your charisma, and tell me what you get.
Plus my charisma. Oh no, not my charisma. All right. Be nice. Oh no. It's a 6.
Oh no. And we like Wabibble Wabobble.
She
I
seemed
know.
like so much fun.
So eclectic.
They take a step back. Their kind of a shadow passes in front of their face. I'm not going to lie to the Knights of Prospect.
Good.
I have been paid a hefty sum to enchant that wand.
Oh no.
May we ask with what?
You may. They reach their hand into space. Like, they kind of put a hand into like a fold in space and pull out a strong box. And they open it up, and inside are coins, lots and lots of coins from the Regency of Catavia. There's like 3 years teacher's salary in this strongbox. 2 young Catavians. They came in, they paid in coin.
Oh. Did they
If you want,
Did they happen to pay you to not tell anyone about the enchantment? Like, maybe we could raise the sum a bit. Did you tell us what the wand does now?
they did pay me to say nothing about anything.
That seems reasonable.
Charades!
Charades!
Could you act out what the enchantment does?
Like pretend you're at a dinner party and we're playing charades.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Normally, again, Wibibble Bobble is breaking a contract, so I would have had you roll to convince them, but I'm just so excited to play charades.
Gregory, get into it. You're the best guesser we have.
Okay.
3 words. First word.
First word.
First.
Circle.
Box of
Square.
chocolate. Pterodactyl.
Diving board.
Birth.
Portal.
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 Second word. Walk.
Frolic. Promenade.
Run.
Transport.
Go.
Travel. Sounds like. You.
Uncle Sam.
You. Go.
Goo.
Goo.
You.
Blue. Portal. Through.
Through.
Portal 2. Portal through. Portal 2.
Through.
Hey, all right.
Portal 2.
Dinner party's going all right.
All right.
I'll
Third
pass down
word.
the hors d'oeuvres.
Mean. Stick.
Hell. Hell.
Music solo.
Satan.
War.
Oh,
Vampire.
Batcave.
hell?
Troll.
Orc.
Or
Oh.
orc.
Or
Portal to Orc.
Orc. Orctavia?
it's a portal to the Orcish lands.
This dinner party's going great.
That was, phenomenal.
Really good. Really good.
Really good charades work.
Destroy it.
I said nothing about it.
Yep,
Destroy it.
absolutely.
I
Destroy
told
it
you
now.
Gregory was our best guesser.
I cannot.
Good at party.
I'm under contract. And when you contract an enchanter, that enchanter will enchant.
Enchanters gotta enchant.
Man.
That's what they say.
Can't
That
stop.
is what it is
Yeah.
used for.
Right.
And those 2 young Catavians are going to come here and get it.
Well, we don't want to endanger you.
No.
What would endanger all of us here is letting a portal to the Orcish lands exist. Your contract and your money is going to be naught when those orcs come through a portal.
The wand has been made, the contract immutable.
Chauncey, do a magic, destroy it.
Great. Okay, I'll be straightforward about this, Gregory. It's probably really hard for me to do that. I'm slightly concerned in this vault full of enchanted items with the enchanter present who's trying to fulfill their contract that they may be able to overpower me.
You are right, as I respect the Knights of Prospect tremendously. They was well, when I was young, I'd hoped to join myself before entering academia, but a contract is a contract, and I would endeavor to stop you. This is the Arcane College, and I am a tenured professor, and this is my lab.
What if you made something for us?
I would be happy to. I am currently free.
Oh, what's that thing that we're protecting? Glass of
The triune glass.
triune glass. You know anything about it?
Of course I do. We study it, all enchanters. It is an artifact in 3 pieces. The 3 pieces, when combined, will create a magical effect that is so powerful that at some point in history, whoever had the completed copy decided to break it into 3 pieces to prevent whatever magical effect that it was enchanted to create from ever happening.
So that's what these little rascals are trying to steal. Is our piece of that.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course. The Knights of Prospect famously have one of the pieces in the vault.
It's real bad. And we know they're going to get it or something that looks like it. So how good are you at making something that looks like a piece of triune glass?
Yeah.
Maybe that feels like it. Say they try to see if it's correct. It has a lot of enchantment on it. Very magical. Very triangular.
It smells like it. Maybe you have a diagram of it since you studied it at great length in an academic setting.
All right, here's how this is going to work. I want one of you, whoever's feeling lucky, to
Not
roll.
me.
To roll, let's say 2d6 plus Constitution, because this is going to be a fairly intense enchanting ritual, and on a full success, it's going to look like the triune glass, and it will also have a magical signature. On a partial success, you only get to choose one of those things. So whoever wants to roll 2d6 plus Constitution, do so now.
Well, that's a 3.
Okay. You all think this is perfect. We, the players, I, the GM, know that it is not. But Wabibble Wabobble spends 20 or 30 minutes crafting a gemstone. It will make it faceted and use all in invisible helpers are like assisting and chipping away. And they infuse it with kind of a magical essence to give it a signature. And they hand it to you. Just like in the textbook.
Wow. See, now that's what magic can do, Gregory. It's not about making a thing you don't want just go away. Look at the beautiful inscription. Look at it. You can feel it emanating.
Yes, I know there are already 3 of them. Magic already made 3 of them. I'm not impressed by a 4th.
It smells good.
It does.
It smells outstanding.
Is that a little lavender?
It is, yes.
Ah,
A Wabibble Wabobble signature.
very
Very
nice.
Soothing.
To ensure the authenticity.
I feel as if I am getting to a point where I may know too much. And so if I am questioned, I don't want to be in a position where I will give away this charade. But is there anything else I can do?
Well, like I said, you could destroy the wand. Potentially save the entire continent.
Well, if it makes you feel better, mighty legionary, a portal like this is to an idea of a place. That is to say, unless someone has been to that place, it's a portal spell like this is to a vague idea. So if you were to say, I would like to go to the Theocracy of Enteresh, and you've never been there and you know it on a map, a portal spell would place you somewhere in the boundaries that you know. A high degree of precision on a teleportation involves someone having lived experience in a place. The wizard that assisted me in creating this has never been to the Orcish lands, which means they are placing this portal into a fairly broad area, which means I suspect it is meant to be a route of escape instead of a route to invasion. I say this to make you feel better, not because I'm going to destroy it.
I suppose it's some small consolation that if they go through this thing, they'll be ripped apart in short order by orcs. The one time I'd like to see orcs rip something apart.
Well, we have our replacement glass.
Well, and while the replacement glass was being manufactured, I of course had to get my sticky little paws on something in this chamber. So I actually found what is like, it looks like a locket that you open up and it looks like there's a ghost baby inside of it that screams.
What is
Yes.
that noise?
I hear something.
Like a baby, but haunting.
It is a loud and intensely unnerving sound. And yes, every time you open the locket, you hear it. So please add that jelly to your inventory. It is worth a small fortune because even though there are magical artifacts that do other things, this thing will do that until the literal ends of the earth. From now until the heat death of the universe, that locket will scream when you open it.
I love it.
So you have that in your pocket, and you depart. What is your plan for this piece of the triune glass, or this false triune glass?
I say we do a swapperoonie.
Go to the vault, switch them.
Switch them, keep the real one safe. Maybe inside Gregory's boot, where he keeps all of the secret stuff that he thinks we don't know about.
Oh yeah, like those letters in the in the boot.
Mhm.
No
Yeah.
secrets in my boot.
Sure, Gregory.
It's pretty warm in your boot. I once sat inside your boot.
That was so surprising to walk into the room and just see Jelly just relaxing in your boot.
Stay away from my things, especially you, thief.
That boot has a surprising amount of stretch to
Has
it.
everyone touched my boot?
Only the inside.
Yeah, I would never mess with the outside of your boot.
Yeah, it was really impressive to watch Jelly get in there. They sort of swan dive.
Well, if you touch the inside of my boot again, you will be touching the outside of it. If I'm clear.
I'll be touching the outside of it.
I think he's gonna kick you.
Exactly.
Oh, well, the outside of it looks pretty warm too, so maybe that wouldn't be so bad.
Hazel, it's a good plan.
Thank you.
Let us not call it a switcheroonie.
All right,
You don't like switcheroony?
a swapperoo.
A replacement. How about?
Replacement swapperoo.
Oregano.
Mm-hmm.
Replace a weenie.
Mhm.
That way, if they hear us talking about it, they won't know what we're doing.
Mm-mm.
Fine.
Quick cutscene. Wabibble Wabobble is, kind of follows you out, and as you leave the tower, they go back to teaching their class, and they seal the door behind them. And we just see in the middle of the giant enchanting lab just the wand still floating on that enchanter's table. And then kind of a head appears about 5.5 feet off the ground as a cloak of invisibility is thrown back. And it's Delphine, and she looks at Corentin, who pulls back a similar cloak. And they look at each other. Oh. Well, that would have been an exceedingly clever plan, brother. Oh, yes, I agree. I would have done something similar myself. Well, no time like the present, then. Agreed. And they grab the wand and jump out a window. Anyway, you are heading back to Etama, the great chapter house of the Knights of Prospect. Is there anything you need to do on the way, or are you heading straight back?
Why don't we check in at the jailhouse?
You check in at the jailhouse. Yeah, this is a Silver Helmets facility, and it's incredibly well defended. In point of fact, you fought the Silver Helmets a few months ago, those that were loyal to Archmage Jaka. And these are thankfully not them. That element was expunged from the Force. But they look every part the impressive constabular, big mirrored helmets, magically enchanted armor, all kinds of different weapons. And you essentially flash your credentials. They all know who you are, and they let you in. And you're led down into essentially a magical jail cell. You walk through this portal that it's protected with like various power words that different jailers must say at the same time for it to even shimmer out. And so you kind of walk in, and at the end of a hall in essentially solitary confinement, you see through the bars the two young Catavians, Delphine and Corentin. They're pacing back and forth, having some kind of argument in hushed tones. What you guess?
You two at the bars.
They ignore you. They're animatedly arguing.
Delphine, Quarantine, it's me, Jelly. Come over to the bars for a thieves commune.
Nothing.
I'm gonna ask the wind for a favor, real quick.
Sure. Yeah, it is. It's free flowing wind down here, and the wind will listen to you. What would you like to ask the wind?
Yeah. Hey, friend. I want to see if we can get these two to pay attention to us, or really anything. Could you kind of blow a little cyclone around them? See if you can get them real mussed.
Yeah, the wind, whenever you talk to the wind, it's tricky because the words kind of emerge in different parts of the sky and they kind of buffet you in a strange order. But the short answer is, we'll do our best.
Oh, thanks, sweetheart.
Hazel, 2d6 plus wisdom. Actually, this is going to be a discern realities roll. The wind has no problem doing this.
Okay. Oh, all right. 10.
Okay, you can ask 3 questions from the discern realities list about Delphine and Corentin and what the wind is doing to them.
Okay. Boop, boop, boop. What here is not what it appears to be?
Delphine and Corentin are not here. That is an illusion.
They're fake!
They are fake. What should I be on the lookout for?
Well, I mean, the obvious, of course, is if they're not here, they are enacting their plan. The less obvious is the fact that at least one of the silver helmets in here has been paid off and may be about to attack you.
Ooh.
What here is useful?
Probably that illusion stone itself. There has to be one in there. Considering how well funded they are, they have all sorts of cool tricks. So presumably that illusion is being generated by a stone that has a 1 or 2 minute loop of activity. So if you get that and take it, it will be proof that there was a jailbreak, and the silver helmets would probably rally to your cause to try to help you.
All right.
What do you want to do?
Jelly, can you get that stone with your
Yep.
nimble little paws?
I sure can. These sweaty little guys are gonna snag it. I can do
So,
it.
yeah, Jelly, let's have you roll 2d6 plus your dexterity, just to see how quick you can get this done.
Okay. Let's see. Oh, 9.
All right. So the good news is you get this done just as that paid off silver helmet has entered the hallway and is brandishing a mage glass mace. So the good news is you got it before this silver helmet's guard calls for reinforcements, but not before he's going to try to bludgeon you all. So yeah, you all kind of turn around, like you reach in and grab this thing. It was like hiding under a bench, and the second you pick it up, the illusion kind of shatters, and you all kind of turn around just as like this big silver helmet constabulary is like running forward with a mace, about to brain you. Who wants to do something about that?
I would.
Yeah.
I would like to smash before he can.
That's very fair. 2d6 plus strength to hack and slash.
6.
Okay. You kind of step forward, big heavy swing, big heavy punch with the cestus. You blow a chunk out of the wall. The silver helmet kind of stops short, looks in, turns around and screams, "Jailbreak! The Knights of Prospect have broken the prisoners out!
Oh,
Jailbreak!"
What? Boo! Weird.
And you hear a great trundling of iron-shod feet as a bunch of reinforcements are running down the hall towards you. Who's going next?
Okay. I'm running. I'm going towards where all the feet are coming from.
Mm-hmm.
And I summon my staff to my hand. And I just remove my cloak, showing my chainmail. And I'm standing and waiting for them to arrive.
Gotcha. Yeah, they 4 similarly clad silver helmet guardsmen, all run in with various mage glass weapons, looking as intimidating as always. And they look and they see you standing there. What is the meaning of this? Where's Braz? Apparently that's the other guard. That's the first name I could think of, is Braz. Where is Braz? Braz is like, I'm here. They've broken them out. So yeah, you are standing, Chauncey, facing the reinforcements with Braz behind you. And they are trying to figure out which of them are going to attack which of you. So Chauncey, what would you like to do?
Hi, everybody. It's me, Chauncey. One of the people who put those people in here recently. I would submit that, and I just start brandishing my staff and trying to get some light to glint off of the militant sigil on my chainmail. I would suggest it's unreasonable to say that I would then immediately break them out of jail. And by the power of the great angel, the militant, I suggest you all stand down.
Okay, that sounds like a parlay to me. 2d6 plus charisma. I'm giving you a +1 because of because of your skill, emissary's trappings, and another +1 because you are speaking the truth, and that means something in this world. So 2d6 plus charisma +2.
12.
Okay. What happens very fast. Which is, like you are standing there kind of resplendent, speaking with profundity and truth. And these silver helmets are good, upstanding defenders of Tower Town. They are a military force that protects Tower Town. In point of fact, they were doing you a favor by jailing these two. And they turn and look at Braz and say, we believe the emissary. What do you say of this?
Yeah, what do you say, Braz?
Yeah, Braz kind of turns and looks, and kind of the jig is up immediately, and Braz starts screaming something about how he has bills to pay, and and all of this, and eventually they kind of walk up to him and yank his helmet off and pull the mace out of his hand. And at that point, Jelly, you show them the relic. And that's the thing about the silver helmets, is they're not just they've all graduated from the Arcane College, so they all immediately start looking at us like, oh yeah, okay, well, we should have caught that when they came in. And yeah, you are allowed to keep it. So you also have Jelly, have essentially a 2-minute loop digital 3D projector of two Catavians arguing with each other, if that's ever valuable to you. But yeah, the fact of the matter is, Delphine and Corentin are not here. They have tricked the guards, and they are somewhere out in the world.
Oh boy, we gotta get the glass to Etma.
And so you all sprint to Etma.
Maybe. Oh, I'm sorry, Jelly. Maybe keep that stone with the projection handy in case we need any more swapperinos.
Oh yeah.
Replace-a-roonies.
Switcherano. Toronto.
Why do you do this?
Twist a road.
That's the one.
We'll switch your boots.
Just like Gregory's little boots that they stretch.
They're warm. They're pretty big, actually.
Why are those lambskin? They're real stretchy.
As you you all start sprinting towards Etamos. You leave Tower Town proper, and you head up into the hills outside of Tower Town, and you see Etama in the distance, standing impressively as always, especially with Gregory's new defensive bulwarks, on the hill of the same name, beautiful in the late afternoon sun. And as you are running, you see kind of from the wall and moving up through the sky. For a moment, it looked like birds flying very, very fast and then hanging in the sky. But those are not birds. Those are arrows.
Those birds are arrows.
And all the arrows, they stop you in your path. A half dozen arrows land in a perfect line about 10 feet in front of you. Standing on the wall, you can tell, is Vil with her black ash bow, Hobie arcing around her head. You then hear the voices of Ronaldo and Winnie in unison, like in that loud, weird bardic chorus. Not one step further, thieves. We know your scheme.
What?
Bill, it's us. Let us in. The thieves are on their way here. There's 2 of them.
And Vil, Vil hops down over the wall. Raz comes with her, and as Raz walks, he starts kind of raising his hands, and various skeletons that have been dead on these hills for a couple of centuries kind of pull themselves out. And so now they're surrounded by like a dozen shambling half skeletons. as Vil gets closer, bow still out.
Vil, Raz, it's us. What are you doing?
It's us. Look at this locket I got. Wah! Wah!
Yeah, who else would get that? Who else would have that? It
me.
didn't show anyone.
Vil and Raz look at each other. Well, that makes all the sense in the world then. Yeah, who else would take that thing? Who in the world would take that?
It's a ghost baby.
Hazel, Chauncey, you were here 10 minutes ago. You sprinted up and said that anyone that looked like you that came after were the thieves, and that we were to hold them off. You were very convincing.
Oh, what did we do after that?
Ran down to the vault, said you needed to secure the triune glass.
Okay, and did we come back out of the vault?
I don't know.
It's a
God!
Paparuno.
And Vil and Raz start yelling. Ronaldo and Winnie look at each other on the wall. And yeah, at that point, it is very clear that you are all you. And you all cluster up, all 8 of you plus Hobie. And yeah, there, like, Dolly swings open the big gates. You all run in. You all trundle down to the lower levels, trundle down to the great vault doors, which hang open. The triune glass.
Anybody in there?
Hazel, 2d6 plus wisdom.
Oh my God.
11.
Ooh.
They just were.
Oh,
I can still feel the heat of a trespasser.
Which means that if you're fast, you can catch them wherever it is they're going.
Chauncey, can you detect them?
Just real quick, I want to say, Gregory, someday we gotta just sit down and talk about what I used to be able to do and what I can do
You
now.
can say no. It was a question.
It comes up a lot. Anyway,
I turned into a peregrine falcon.
Yep. Roll it. 2d6 plus wisdom.
That's 9.
Okay, you have 3 holds of Peregrine Falcon, which is, and your moves as a Peregrine Falcon are to scout and to chase. And that means that you don't even need to roll. You automatically succeed when you want to scout something or chase something.
All right, I'm gonna chase Dolphin and Quarantine.
You do. You turn around, you bank in this hallway, you shoot through the grand hall of Etama, out the front door. Dolly kind of sees and waves, and boom, you are just out into the beautiful skies.
Can I yell at Dolly to follow me?
You can.
Dolly,
I'm on.
follow.
Of course. And yeah, Dolly begins kind of hammering a path. All of you are obviously following as well. And yeah, so if you would like to scout, spend one of your 3 hold.
Sure.
Done. Yeah, you see them. They are making their way for a copse of trees on another hill.
All right. This is my last one. I'm just gonna dive bomb them. Go right for the eyes.
Go for it. For this, let's have you roll to hack and slash. 2d6 plus strength.
9.
Oh, okay. So you kind of dive bomb down and attack your choice, Delphine or Corentin.
Delphine.
Delphine. She's slightly older than Corentin. They're twins. And you dive down and just talons out, and you kind of scrape and rake at her face. She starts screaming, kind of blood. Now, Quarantine, now, before they find us. And yeah, Quarantine, kind of runs. He's taking off faster now, but yeah, you bank. Quarantine turns, and throws a knife with remarkable accuracy that hits you for 4 damage in return. And kind of you bank and spiral, but the where you are, everyone else is going. And so you're up there. Hobie joins you first, and so you and Hobie are now kind of arcing and flying around these two. You can't hold this form, Hazel, for much longer. But yeah, it's Hobie and Hazel kind of like in a running battle with these two. Like they're throwing knives back
everywhere. You don't want a bird.
Yeah, it's bad. Like there's gonna be some kind of infection from the talons. Like Hobie is like dive bombing them. For whatever reason, they need to get to the copse of trees. And yeah, Hazel, that's exactly where that image was. It was in a copse of trees. And they get there. All of you are kind of sprinting up, up towards this copse of trees. But they get into the trees. At this point, Hazel, you kind of lose your form and kind of roll onto the ground. Delphine ends up kind of swinging a club that kind of bats Hobie's one of his wings, and he kind of spirals into a tree. And they finally have a few moments of silence. And the two of them look at each other and they draw the wand, and they trace big. They trace big in front of them. And just as the image that Sister Ix foretold, the two of them are standing there holding the triune glass, looking into a portal towards the Orcish lands. They look at each other. I love you, sister. I love you, brother. And they walk through.
I throw my club at him.
Hazel, 2d6 plus Constitution.
$11.
That's the roll that's gonna change the campaign. You throw you throw your kind of your
My shillelagh?
Your shillelagh through, and you throw, and as you do, kind of as it arcs through the air, the ground under it kind of bubbles and crackles and moves with it. The earth is doing you a favor. The earth is refusing to let the portal close.
Ooh.
Within a minute or two, you are joined, Hazel, by Chauncey, Gregory, Jelly, Raz, Vil, Hobie, Ronaldo, Winnie, and Dolly, staring at a portal to the Orcish nation of Od Kramad, the Swamp Empire. What do you all do?
Let's get them, kids.
Let's go.
I try to do a little vault with my staff through the portal.
Yep. Gregory, you take a deep breath, steady yourself, and lead the Knights of Prospect back into a war zone. So we will end year one just like that.
Whoa.
Whoo!
You threw your club!
To be orcs.
Yep.
It had to be orcs.
It was, you were going to go to one of two, if the portal was going to lead to one of two places, depending on the rolls. The Orcish nation of Od Kramad, or the elven city of Sentinel 1,000 miles away, beautiful and safe.
Oh.
Oh.
Well, Hazel likes orcs. So
Yeah,
I'm
you've met a couple of
psyched.
super nice folks out west.
Gregory does not like orcs.
No, you do
This
not.
is going to be a big growth arc for Gregory. I
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a growth orc for
It'll
you.
be a
Hey.
think. Perhaps
Maybe
a
one of
redemption orc.
Wow. So that's it. You and the entire gang have chased these thieves into the middle of an orcish empire in the hopes of intercepting these thieves before they deliver the third piece of an Armageddon device to their boss.
Oh, no matter what happens, at least I have my locket with a little screaming ghost baby in it.
It'll always work.
Please.
I feel like that's the most jelly thing to have stolen from. It's like like literally, it was like a room. It's like, imagine literally everything in the world. That's in the room. Jelly, what do you want to steal? Screaming locket. Of course. Perfect.
It was like clearly labeled. It said very specifically screaming locket.
Yeah, it was in a bag. Like, it's you knew, like, you looked at all the other things, like, well, when's the next time I need to drink clean water for 1,000 gallons? Or, no, I want the screaming locket. Yes. The what?
The room let you steal that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The room was like,
Yeah.
please take
The room itself realized that it was luckier with this thing gone.
That wasn't a box marked giveaway.
Yeah.
give and take, goodwill.
Nearly
That was-
total
Like, we
rummage
tried to put
sale.
it in the lost and found, but no one took it. So
Sister
now we
X
just have to
foresaw
donate it.
Sister X is
Yeah.
like, Jelly's gonna be in there. Just put this locket in there, and then they'll take that, and we'll be
And
fine.
you know what, Jelly's
It's like a C student thesis project.
Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, thank you, audience, for tuning in to Knights of Prospect, our 52nd episode. We have been doing this darn thing for a year. So if you tuned in live on Twitch, thank you so much for doing so. We are here every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on twitch.tv/2MB Studios. If you are listening to it on a podcast, that's amazing. Continue to do that. And if you're watching it on Twitch and want to catch up, why don't you go ahead and follow that other hypothetical person that's listening to the podcasts and listen to our back episodes via podcast. There's great music, wonderful, wonderful sound editing, and it's delightful. Also, if you want to see our friendly faces over the last year, go ahead to our YouTube channel, Knights of Prospect on YouTube. You can find us there as well. If you are on twitch.tv but have not yet subscribed to it, well, good heavens, you should do that. We've got shows 7 days a week, shows of all shapes and sizes, improv comedy shows, talk shows, game shows, a wrestling league. Really, anything you want is right here. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't, or look up our Patreon, which should be in the description of our Twitch channel. You can support us there as well. But anyway, folks, happy adventuring. Can't wait to see what year 2 holds for these nights. So we will see you next time.
Bye.